Hello my friends and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have a look at the works of Philip Jose Farmer. Brief history. He was born in 1918, just before the First World War ended. He died in 2009. Mathematicians amongst you will figure out that he'd lived to the grand old age of 91. And he was an SF author who didn't much care for the conventions of normal science fiction. His novels and short stories were, not all of them, but quite regularly on sexual themes, religious themes. And generally, he just didn't care. He wrote what he felt he should write about at the time. But this wasn't an attitude that was shared by the publishers. Tended towards a more commercial sensibility, shall we say? He wrote nearly, I think it was 60 novels during his lifetime, and a lot of short stories. He's most famous for the Riverworld series, which the first of which books, To Your Scattered Bodies Go, won the Hugo Award for Best Novel, and he also won a Hugo for Best Novelette for a story that appeared in Arlen Ellison's Dangerous Visions called Riders of the Purple Wage, which was a pastiche of Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce. So yeah, that's a brief overview of him. Just very brief. There's more I could say, but I don't want to get into the books. Now we mentioned the Riverworld series, so I'll start with. I don't collect hardbacks as such, but I bought these years ago, and there's a couple. Well, they're all nice ones. That's the first printing of the third novel, Dark Design. I think that's Vincent de Fate, but it's very nice. Very nice, and it's in good nick plastic covered, so keep it clean. That's how I bought these, 60 years ago. I don't know when it came out. It might be nearer 50. Let's have a looky. Find it. Yeah, copyright 77, so what's that? About 50 years, isn't it? As I say, that's the first printing, so that's a nice one to get kicked off with. Shove it out of the way. Then this is the fourth book, which I believe is also a true first printing. That's the Magic Labyrinth. Again, I think that's Vincent de Fate's artwork. There's nothing on there to tell you, but just by the look of it. That is also a Berkeley Putnam, and as I say, as far as I know, that is the first printing now, 1980. And then the only other one I have in hardback is one of his more well-known books, The Lovers. That's the Del Rey. Again, I think that's the first true printing. Yeah, it just says a brief magazine version. Appeared in Startling Stories in 1952, and it's got number 1 on the number line at the bottom. So yeah, that's another first hardback. So that's, if you're going to have hardbacks, that's a nice three to have, I would say. Now moving on. Pull it towards me so I'm not stretching. Right, now this was his first novel, Green Odyssey, Valentine, as you can see. Now, this is an odd one. I've never heard of this before, but this was published simultaneously with the hardback version. So, in effect, it is a first printing. They're both first printings because they were published together. So, yeah, I didn't realise that till I looked that one up. But, yeah, and it's also a signed copy. So you might not see too many of those about. If you do, well, get your wallets out, guys. Right, here's another early one. Strange Relations again, Valentine. I think this might be a later printing. This one. 1960, so maybe not. That might be a true first edition also. Unfortunately, I haven't liked the Philip K. Dick bibliography that I had to consult. I don't have anything as definitive as that, so I'm just going on what I think I know. Right, now here's the first of the Riverworld books that I mentioned. This is not a first. That's the one that won the Hugo Award. Berkeley, a little bit sun faded there as well, but never mind. White books always don't look so good when they've been around a few years, and that's the second. Fabulous Riverboat. Better Nick, that's a Berkeley. First time in paperback, so that will be a first paperback printing. Yep. First American paperback. Right, now this is a true first. There. Another Valentine. This is another quite an early one. First Valentine printing 65. So that's a true first, that one. I'm pretty certain. Well, I looked these up, and they're fairly common in America, not so common over here. But if you want to ship them from America, good luck with the postage. Usual problem. Right, then we have Night of Light. Berkeley again. Not sure about this one. Doesn't say anywhere that it's a first time, first publication, but it's certainly, it might actually be, certainly a first paperback anyway. But I don't think it's a true first. Right, Gate of Time. Now this one, as I remember, is a true first. Belmont, 1966. Yep, I'm pretty certain that's a true first. So Belmont, they were quite prolific with their science fiction. Now this is a reworked, expanded version of that. I remember Stephen the Outlaw Bookseller showing that one a few months back, and I was down in London for the book fair, and I saw it in a second-hand shop, and he wanted £6. Oh man, do I pay £6? I mean, I did like it when he showed it, but I thought, yeah, let's have it, because it's not one you're going to see every day of the week. A nice Boris cover there. So yeah, I decided to invest in that upgraded edition of The Gate of Time. Right, here we have, this is a true first printing. Now that one you don't see around in America that often, but as far as I can see from eBay anyway, but certainly quite scarce in the UK. First printing 1973. It's in Nick. Strange cover, I have to say. This one's quite scarce over here. Not so bad in America, but you don't see that around. That's a later book, Pinnacle Books. That one was, that's a first paperback from 1979. I think it's a true first as well. Just have a quick check. Blah blah blah. Yeah, it's an original. Yep, first, a true first. Interesting cover. And yeah, this one you don't see much around in this country. It is a strange cover. It's that one. I know for a fact that that isn't a true first printing. I don't think it's even a first paperback. Well, didn't give you a clue really, but I don't think it is. But it's a later book. It's from, could look while I was there, couldn't I? It's from 1983, this one. At least the paperback's 83. The original hardback was 1981. So we're moving forward a bit. Now this next one's interesting. This is a true first. Venus on the Half Shell. Now you'll notice that it was written by Kilgore Trout. Now there's a picture of Mr. Trout on the back there. Now there was a lot of conjecture at the time when this was printed, which would be 1975. There was a bit of conjecture about whether it was Kurt Vonnegut that wrote it or Farmer. But it turns out that Vonnegut actually gave permission for Farmer to use this Kilgore Trout, because it was, I think Vonnegut had used it at some point. But later he said he wished he hadn't, so he obviously didn't like the book. I've not read it, so I can't pass any opinion, but yeah, nice shape. Okay, just to finish with the normal American books, there's a few collections here down in the Black Gang. I think that's maybe just a first American paperback from 1971. And that has 8 short stories. You can see that those are the 8. And Riverworld, a lot of stories. Berkeley. Quite nice, considering it's a white cover, and I've had it for, well, I bought it when it first came out, which is 1979, so you know it's 40 odd years old, 45. And that has another 8 stories in by the look of it. The Jungle Rock Kid on the Nod, I remember that one. It's like a pastiche of William Burroughs, as I remember. And then there's this one, strange one. I don't see this around very often, the Blue Book. Jim Bain Presents. I've got another book by Jim Bain Presents, I'll show it to you later. Again, yeah, it's in very nice condition. But this this is a later one, and it's 82. I think it might be a true first actually. It's got a nice Howard Chaykin cover there anyway. I like Chaykin, it's good. Right, jog him up there. Right, now I've got a few UK editions. Let's move some stuff around here. Right, now as I say, they did a lot of books with sexual content, and these were two of them. Image of the Beast, Exorcism Ritual 1. This is first published in Great Britain by Quartet. So, I mean, presumably, excuse me, presumably it's the first UK paperback, and there's the second one. It's the same. So it's like a set. Shouldn't be showing that really. I'll probably get booted off of YouTube, but never mind. Not my fault. And that is first published by Quartet. So, yeah. They were first published in the USA by Essex House, which was a house known for semi-pornographic stuff. So that will tell you a bit about the content. Right, then there was the World of Tears. I've only got two of these actually. Dereliction of Duty, this only having two of the three, because I hate incompleteness. That's a Sphere version. Much later, that's not even a first UK, I don't believe. And then we have the second volume. Too clever, that one. But apart from the dent in the cover, it's not too bad. I think that's that's the other one of his series that's probably better recognised than a lot of his books. I love this cover. That's a beaut, that is. Absolute stormer. In Wales of Ishmael. Yeah. That's by Bob Haberfield. I'm not familiar, but it's a beautiful cover. Like it. So it's another one I've not read. Quartet, first published in Great Britain by, so it's and this is the first UK paperback. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. As I normally do. Right, and then book I really enjoyed. Day World. That's interesting cover again. Panther this time. This is one of his later efforts. Yeah, this was published by Grafton actually, what it says. Panther there. I like Grafton books because they feel very solid and they've got lovely glossy covers. Big fan of those. As I say, I've read that one and I found it quite entertaining. And that is a sequel. I think there's another volume as well. Can't bring the title to mind, but I haven't taken that sticker off because it's covered with sellotape and it's going to leave a mark, so easy to leave it on. But I should be reading that one because I did quite enjoy the first one. Righty, now coming into the home stretch. Now he did a series for door books. Well, not a series, just a couple. We'll have a look at these first. That was I've got 5 door books there. Now this is a door original, so obviously it's a first, true first, and they did a compilation. There's a lot of these books I've in the door series, but that was one about him. Let's see, that was 1973. That's a first printing, so that's a true first. And yeah, there's quite a few short stories in there. Then he did a series, well, I keep saying series, he did 2 books about Haydon. That was the first. There was actually a reprint of this with a collector's number. Normally reprints either have the same number or this, in the place of the collector's number you get this UY number or UE or UT, whatever. But as I say, this is one of the 5 books, I think it is, that has its own number for a later printing. So I haven't got it, but it's harder to find. And then the sequel to that was Flight to Opal with a nice Roy Krenkel cover, I think. Be worth showing that one as well. That's Roy Krenkel, I love him. An excellent artist of the old school. And that one which is again Roy Krenkel. Lovely. And then this is, I don't know if it had anything to do with expanding this, but it's a translation by Farmer. But it may well have had something to do with expanding it or changing it slightly. I seem to remember reading somewhere about it. It says, yeah, Jose Farmer translated and retold Rosny's novel, so I don't quite know what that means, whether he's rewritten it in its entirety or what. But yeah. Now, he introduced a character called Greatheart Silver in this Byron Price series of weird heroes. This introduced a lot of original characters, some of them pulp related, some not. But I think it had a pulp sensibility, basically. And that was the first Greatheart Silver story in there. And then we had the second chapter in there. And finally the third and last chapter in there. And then Jim Bain Presents decided to bring out the whole thing as a novel, first paperback, so it's a true first with a nice Jakin cover again. Very nice indeedy. And a wraparound. So that'll do for me. And then finally, I'm just going to take a look at 3 books. He introduced 2 Pulp, 2 characters from the Pulp magazines in Tarzan and Doc Savage. Doc Savage became Doc Caliban and Tarzan became Lord Grand Rith, I believe it was, as I recall. And these were half-brothers, the pair of them, and they were involved in some sort of conspiracy to take over the world. And they appeared in this... wrong way around. That was very dexterous of me, wasn't it? Yeah, That's Lord of the Trees with Lord of Grandrith. And there's Doc Savage, looking very much like the James Barmer covers of the Bantam reprints, of which I have many. So yeah, that was an interesting one. And then he also did Doc Savage, complete story of Doc Savage, his apocalyptic life. So that was more about the original character. It wasn't Caliban, as far as I know. I've not read it, but I think it's more factual. And that does have a nice James Barmer rendition of Doc Savage. And last but not least, now this one is probably the only one I've got that's actually worth anything in terms of hard cash. Right, this is a Feast Unknown, which is it's. Have a look at that. This is the one with the first. Yeah, it's sort of like semi-pornographic as I remember. There were only 800 of these printed. So it's quite expensive. I mean, I saw it on eBay for a couple of hundred, but that was actually signed, and this one isn't. A couple of $100, that is. So yeah, it's nice Richard Corbin cover there. It was published by a publishing house I've never heard of, Fokker D-LX1X. I'm not very good at Roman numerals, so I'll just read it out. But yeah, it's quite an interesting one. You won't see many of those about, I'm afraid. So there you go. There's a look at Philip Jose Farmer and quite a few of his books. I hope you enjoyed that little journey. We'll be back in a week or two with the latest book haul. So thank you all for watching and subscribing, and subscribers are still ticking over, and whatever else you do. And that leaves me just to say, I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye now.